city officials and Malibu residents seem to be taking these precautions seriously. Last weekend showed us that many visitors are not, with these beaches packed with visitors trying to escape quarantine and finally get out of their houses, escaping to the outdoors. A mountain lion was legally killed under depredation law 2 weeks ago in the Santa Monica Mountains. This was after a landowner complained that P56 had been killing livestock on his property. This is one of 2 male mountain lions that's in the Santa Monica area, sparking concern across Southern California. Crowds are gathering behind me, getting ready to welcome the U.S. women's national team for winning the gold medal in soccer. In just a few hours, they're going to board a parade float right here and make their way down the Canyon of Heroes. After coming off a weekend of record-breaking hot temperatures, Southern California is now bracing for a dramatic change in weather. In an attempt to decrease mass shootings, many people have focused on the issue of gun control. However, some people have begun to question whether the media's extensive coverage of the shooter is actually causing more harm than good. That's right, it's breaking news in the Pepperdine community. The international programs of Buenos Aires and London were canceled this morning due to the coronavirus. Across the street from me is Roosevelt Elementary School, which was on lockdown for about 4 hours earlier this morning. Air quality and smoke are the problem right here in Malibu. You can see over top of these hills that the smoke blew in overnight. While PCH is one of the most beautiful roads in Malibu, it is definitely not the safest, especially for pedestrians.
Because you still do have people going across the surface of the road, which they're doing right now, sort of running for their lives.
Residents who need to cross PCH near Malibu Seafood have protested a crosswalk because of the fast-moving traffic in the area. Now they are asking to use an underpass instead.
Currently, the position of Caltrans appears to be that the only negative of the underpass is that it is complicated.
But residents came to show their support for the idea at Tuesday night's City Council meeting.
Well, my experience is that those things that are difficult usually produce the best results.
Council members are also in favor of keeping pedestrians safe.
The predominant issue here is public safety. And the public going underneath the highway is a heck of a lot safer than crossing that highway.
After multiple meetings with the city of Malibu, Caltrans is cleaning up the area to assess the situation. Caltrans has now brought in equipment to clear out the underpass. You can see the machines behind me hard at work to clear out the sediment that has built up over the past few years. I spoke to a biologist who was on the scene, and he said they are cleaning the underpass for environmental reasons to decrease the risk of flooding. Residents and council members are hoping this will be a step in the right direction.
I believe it's worth taking the time and doing the hard work and putting the money out because it's one of the truly beautiful spots on the coast of California.
Jenna Gaertner, Newswaves 32. Michelle Burring has called the small neighborhood in Agora Hills her home for almost 20 years, and most of her neighbors have been here just as long.
We're a motley crew, believe me, but it just seems to work.
However, when the Woolsey fire came through 1 year ago,
I think there were 5 here.
It left 16 homes in her area destroyed. While Michelle's home suffered minor damages apart from the smoke, other neighbors were not so lucky.
Because the houses that burned to the ground.
A year later, many of the residents are still renting or living in hotels as they wait to rebuild. It was a confusing mix of insurance companies, permits, and planning.
Having gone through this was pretty much new for everybody, so nobody knew what to do.
And frustrations are still high since the process won't be complete for at least 2 years. When Michelle returned home 3 months after the fire, the regrowth brought mixed feelings.
I was mad. I was like, no, wait, you don't know what happened here, and now it's going to get covered up like it never happened.
But returning the neighborhood to normal is still a long way off. One of the structures that was damaged in the Woolsey fire is this bridge that is one of the residents' ways out of their neighborhood. You can see that it melted during the fire, and they constructed a temporary new one-way bridge as its replacement for now. Residents complain, however, that the new bridge is not expected to be rebuilt until 2025. This bridge served as one of 2 exits on the canyon side of the neighborhood.
And then it just blew up,
making the temporary fix difficult for traffic and frustrating for the residents. But these situations are not specific to Michelle's neighborhood. There are many others in the same position. In the nearby neighborhood of Malibu Lake, Local business owner Tim Skogstrom said that his 12-home community was left with only 3 houses standing.
Malibu Lake's an old community, so whether or not they even want us to rebuild, I think is part of the question right now.
When Tim returned to his store during the Woolsey fire, he found burning embers and took matters into his own hands to protect the area.
So we just basically started putting stuff out, walking around with shovels and rakes.
Despite all the hardships this community has endured,
I think everybody in the end is thankful that they're alive.
their support for each other still ties them together.
There's support all around pretty much for anybody who needs it. And we're all here for each other.
Reporting from Agora Hills, I'm Jenna Gaertner, Newswaves 32. Right now, we are going to shine some light on an influential group within the Pepperdine community. This week's Campus Spotlight is on the talented One by One and the people behind the voices of Pepperdine's touring a cappella group. This may sound like just another college a cappella group, but Pepperdine's One by One is much more than music. Their mission is to bring the message of Christianity to their audience through song. Founded in 1995, One by One now includes these 6 Pepperdine students who work tirelessly to keep the legacy alive.
To create an atmosphere that's not only audibly pleasing, but is also audibly praising.
And their music can't help but portray that mission to those who listen.
I really wanted to just uplift my voice in worship.
Every time I'm just my mind is blown by how good everyone in the group is and how good we sound together.
But their vision requires a lot of hard work to achieve. They practice multiple times a week and perform for churches, youth rallies, schools, and other events throughout the year. They even go on a tour across the U.S. during the summer.
I'd say for me the hardest part is to be on all of the time, because we have to be lights to people that we go sing for, but it's hard to do that all the time when you have stuff going on, you're busy, you're struggling.
But they all agree that the impact and support they have makes it all worth it.
We get told more than I think we realize or appreciate how much our music has touched other people.
In the many hours that the group spends working together,
it really is a kind of a sort of different family.
They can't help but grow close as they continue their music ministry.
We fight. We get along sometimes. We love each other always. Yes.
Although their time together creates a deep bond, the thing that unites them the most is the purpose behind their praise.
Just know that whenever we sing, whenever we're doing what we're doing, it's for a purpose above ourselves. No matter where we are in life, that we recognize that it's God's light that guides us, and we want to continue to lead that mission.
As coronavirus fears intensify around the world, stress and uncertainty are taking a toll on daily life. Since the early days after the Woolsey fire, Malibu city leaders have been considering some of the main questions in the LA County report. Students at Saugus High School in Santa Clarita were just arriving at school when shots rang out on campus this morning. Here at Pepperdine, we are remembering the loss of one of our own. One of the 12 victims of the borderline shooting was Elena Housley. Malibu Lagoon is no longer in danger of becoming the Malibu Swamp. The Bay Foundation and California State Parks decided to fix the lagoon when it started to become stagnant. In the next half hour, we are excited to introduce you to new segments and get you caught up on what's happening on campus. How many pumpkins do you think you can carry down a 25-foot-long runway? Santa Monica's annual all-you-can-carry pumpkin patch is back. I'm now joined by Christina. She's going to give us some tips on surviving and thriving in college. What do you have for us this week, Christina?